What's up, guys? This is Rambo, and we got the first installment of the pro tip session. So, since my team isn't playing until next Monday, I decided to start this off this weekend. Obviously, on really short notice, but I was feeling good today. I'm wearing my pink shirt. All good. It's 22 outside. For those 22 in Celsius, obviously 22 in Fahrenheit would be really fucking cold. But yeah. So mainly what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna go over the show matches that we played last week. Obviously, I'm gonna start with the leverage one, since it's the most recent one, and then I'll go back. I'm pretty sure I lost some of the maps that we played against ep1 and something. I don't know. I didn't record them for some reason, but yeah. So I mean, we're gonna start it off with some bootleg capture flag here in a bit. I just want to go over a few things. Mainly the point of this is to like show you guys how we play as a team. So I'm not going to be strictly going over my own gameplay. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be following mainly. I'll be obviously following my gameplay to start off with, but as the game goes on, I'll be going over my teammates' gameplay and everything in general, and everything that's going well for our team, and what's making us in the position that we are, and why, like, what makes us good, really. So I mean, obviously, if you want to learn a few things, I can help you. I would suggest obviously discussing things with your team. It's always the same thing. So I mean, it's just playing with your team. So obviously, Call of Duty is a 4v4 sport, esport, and so yeah. So let's get this underway with some bootleg. Obviously, we played. For those who haven't been following my Twitter last week, we played ep1. We tried to play Apex NA, but that didn't work out, and because they kept getting lagged out, which is really stupid. And we played I think it was a Spanish team as well. So obviously these weren't streamed on my stream. These were on the stream for what was it? The Apex Twitch channel. But yeah, all right. So we'll start it off. We're playing LVG. We tied the first map, so this is the second time we played them on bootleg. The first time was a pretty close game, and now we're playing bootleg again. So the series is 0-0. Obviously, at this point, it doesn't really matter since we're just going to be going over gameplay. So we start off the game. Obviously, this is a bootleg capture flag. For those who've been following my channel, I went over a few tips on this map, so people should know kind of the basics by now. A few things that I want to make sure that people understand on this map is spawn killing is key. Obviously, I went over this in one of my videos, but yeah. So we start off the game. At this point, we're in 2-on-2 situation. It's still 0-0. We just want to make sure that you're basic player. So mainly, you'll see me sitting right here for about, I'm gonna say 20 seconds. So mainly at this point, we're in a breakoff situation. That's one of the things that I want to talk about before we go into the in-depth gameplay. Is that we've been playing a lot of European teams lately, and it's like to the point where when you play a European team and an A team, the mainly big difference in gameplay is the fact that European teams don't play as slow. They play a lot of aggressive, fast-play style. And when we play teams like Leverage and other teams, they play a bit slower. They're more considerate about the position they have instead of just running in all the time. So right here, I get a pull. One of the things I'm going to be going back a lot. So here's one of the points that people have to understand when you play competitive Call of Duty. There's always certain players on the team, and everyone relates players as objective players in other like roles like Slayer, support. One thing you have to understand is like if you have the ability to pull a flag, and when you're playing really slow, it's really good. So when both teams right now, as you see right now, we're both sitting there. So we're both mainly trying to gain map position. At this point, we get 2 dead. So I'm going to push up. As soon as you get kills, you have to take advantage of him. So that's one thing. Like I was watching the Iowa Pro Gaming Challenge, which is still on, I believe. And one of the things I noticed the most is that out of all, I mean, obviously there's not really real teams there because there's only you're only allowed 2 pros per team, and you got to play with 2 AMs. So at that point, obviously you can't really have that much chemistry with the teams if you're not playing with your actual team. But one player per se, an objective player, has to understand when it's time to be aggressive, when it's not time to be aggressive. We just killed 2 guys. I'm at green right now. I spotted 1, and they're spawning street at this point. So with that player being there, and that's one of the spawners as we see on minimap at the bike rack. you have to try and pull the flag. You have to go for objectives. It's really what it is. You can't just go and like get kills and just sit there, especially on Bootleg. Bootleg's one of the maps that it's kind of hard to pull a flag. So if you have the chance to like, if you kill an opponent on their flag peg, that kind of tells this team that, okay, well, one of my teammates is on my flag, so I'm kind of like safe to run out of my base and be a little bit aggressive. And when you play a team like Leverage, who like with this roster, obviously they were a brand new team, but they play a bit slower. You have to try and get a lot of pulls out, because if you get a pull, you make him move, and that's when you take him out of their game and you start getting a lot of caps. So as you saw right there, I got a pretty easy pull. I killed Mutation on the flag peg by being really overly aggressive to the point where he wasn't expecting it. And at that point, it was just an easy pull and an easy cap. As soon as you get the flag out to Plaid on this map, it's pretty much a for sure cap, unless you really screw up on choke points. All right, so we're gonna hop on board with. Actually, I'm gonna hop on board with Scumpy. I'm pretty sure he was doing really well on this map. Scumpy really raped pretty hard last week. I think he's dead right now, actually. But I want to. Obviously, we won't be able to watch in first person because of this game, and its spectating mode is pretty terrible. Can I even find him? All right, here we go. So obviously, you have to understand at this point. Yeah, it's too terrible. I can't even see the minimap, so it's kind of pointless to follow my teammates. But we get 3 dead, and here's the play that people have to understand. Okay, one thing's on Bootleg is when you play on this is the good side, obviously. One of the things that happen a lot is when you tend to kill a lot of players, but you don't kill. You kind of like look for the last guy. You kind of tend to be over aggressive and just run away. So you have to understand that in this position right here, I'm at street, so nobody on my team is street, and an easy way to get a flagpole on the bad side on this map is coming from street. So me being overly patient here is actually a thing that my team needs. Obviously, I'm not pushing up, and at that point, I kind of come out and get a good timing. But if you would have killed me, my team would have been in a terrible position, because then they would have been pushing spawn, and there would have been a guy on our base. You can't really back up to when you're pushing spawn. You can't just sit there. As you can see right here, 3 of my teammates just died. If I would have died street at that point and we were still pushing, then it would have been a counter cap really easily. So I think one of the plays that we started working on a lot is whenever your team is up on kills, you don't want to be overly. You want to be aggressive, but you only want like certain players that are in position to be aggressive. Like on the first cap for those who were seeing it, the first play I made, whenever I pulled a flag out after I killed Mutation. If one of my players on my team, and if my entire team was being aggressive and they all would have died, then that pull would have been useless. So at that point, that's one of the plays that I feel is really needed for a team, is when you have to acknowledge the position that you're in and obviously play it accordingly. Because if I would have pushed out street and I would have died, then we would have probably ended up getting counter capped on. So at this point, to get a lot of kills, one of the plays I want to emphasize enough. That's one thing that people seem to like not acknowledge, is the fact that when you know you're in a position that you can't do anything for your team, you have to stay alive. So at this point right here, I just killed a guy and I saw another guy, but at this point I'm just trying to run away. Even if I kill that guy, it's going to be useless. Obviously I get 2 down from my team, which is a good thing, but since my team's stuck in a spawn trap at my own base, since you can see on the minimap there's only 1 guy alive, there's no point in me just going for kills, because if I would die, then I'd be stuck in a spawn trap with my teammates. So for me, being out on the map and being alive I'm keeping 2 guys on spawn. I killed a guy, he's going to spawn, and his teammate was there too. So these 2 teammates, these 2 players on their team are more worried about my positioning and on the map than pushing up and helping their teammates out get a flag out. So for me, staying alive at this point, I'm just trying to sneak around, obviously just stay alive as long as I can. And at this point, they're probably going to flag out. And most people tend to run the flag either middle or market side. So at this point, my teammates call out market, so I'm just going to get in position. My Merc gets a really good 2-piece, Big T gets a flag. And I was trying to go for a counter flag pull, but Aches took me out at that point. And we were still in a good position to get a counter cap here, but Aches goes really big and gets a 2 or 3-piece. So that's one of the things people have to understand. That was a bad play on our team part right there. Like, we all died to the same guy. You can't do that. At that point, we had... Here, I'll go exactly to the position we are. I'm going to die. Just our team in general. We were, like, too greedy on trying to kill the last guy. I have a player So I have a player plat. Wait, I just screwed up the time thing. Alright. I have a player plat, I have a player hole in wall, and I have 2 players plat, actually. So there's 2 players on the plat right now, which means they're going to... Obviously, these 2 players are kind of forced to go into the guy that's watching or the guy that's watching the plat side from the center blocks. But the player who was holding the wall could have been either pushing up, being really aggressive, or pull the flag. And at that point, obviously now players spawning, and actually because I think it was Scumpy who, yeah, Scumpy is holding the wall. And since he's pushing from street side and we have no control of green side, they can spawn on green, which is where we saw just mutations spawn. So at this point, this is a hard position. This is the kind of play that you have to acknowledge as a team that you can't really just be overly aggressive and go for a flag cap. The thing I just said, it was a bad play because we all pushed the same guy. Obviously, it's not great to all die from the same guy. But even if they would kill that guy, they still had a player in green. It's kind of hard to get a flag out when there's players positioned in green. So obviously at this point, we have control of street side, which is not the greatest thing. Obviously, if you saw my videos on this map, obviously you know that it's good to control street side. And I mean, obviously street is good, but if you don't have control of green side, then it's useless because they just spawn in green. And I mean, if you spawn on your flag, it's kind of like it's easy to protect since you don't really have to move to protect it. So actually, we get a few good kills here. We get 2 dead actually, so I'm gonna go for a pull. There's the last guy, I believe, is middle, and one of our teammates dies. So we do get 4 down, but Ace gets a clutch nade and gets the kill on that. So I mean, at that point, we kind of were just going for a flag since there's like a minute left, and you kind of want to get a flag out as fast as you can when there's a minute left. You want to give yourself time to get another one if possible. And we kind of we were a bit too fast on that. Maybe you should have went for a little bit more slaying roll. But Ace got a really good 2-piece and stopped the flag cap for our team. It's pretty self-explanatory. So that's going to be pretty much it for the first side. So obviously the object of this series, guys, is kind of like go over like lessons. So I mean, a lot of people ask me for like lessons and stuff. I just don't feel like a one-on-one with someone just showing them like nade spots or crap like that, like it wasn't in the old times. Like it doesn't really tell you anything. It's it's kind of like information knowledge that you can gain from watching someone play. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm mostly doing this because I can go over search and destroy more, and to the point of positioning an S&D, why it's so important. And like obviously CTF is kind of redundant because I've been going over these gameplays for my thing like Rambo series. So obviously I'm going to be repeating myself on a lot of things I've already said. If you haven't watched my videos yet, it's kind of like new stuff. But yeah. So this is the bad side. So one thing you have to understand is obviously this is a show match. So we're actually playing to win. This is one of the reasons why we've been playing a lot of show matches compared to scrims, is the fact that you get a lot more feel for like a competitive environment, to the point where if you're playing a scrim, it's like, okay, you sure you want to win to like get the knowledge and like, okay, the recognition that you beat that team in a scrim, but it really doesn't mean shit. It's useless. Like you win someone in a scrim, it's like whoop-de-doo. But if you play someone in a show match and there's a lot of people watching, you get a better feel for like actually competing. Like if you were to listen to our team communication during a scrim and a show match, we're way more hyped into it. That's why, for those who've been following my Twitter, I've been saying a lot of things like I'd rather play show matches than scrims, and it's mostly for that reason, because it's a more competitive environment in my opinion, because our team is a lot more hyped and into it. So yeah, obviously for those USA big timer, because we're playing European teams, so they're just trolling. I love Europeans, by the way. Like, you guys are awesome, and then like every scrim we played against European teams so far has been awesome. We've been playing like kind of split host, so I'll obviously show some of those games later on after we show the LVG series. So like I said, obviously at this point, since it's not just a scrim and we're not playing to practice, we're actually playing to win like as much as we can at this point. We're gonna play the map accordingly. So right now we're up 1-0 going into the bad side. It's not that big of a lead on Bootleg, but if you play it correctly, then it's substantially easy to hold or even tie the side. So obviously slaying is really important. So I really hate that I can't see the stats, so I can kind of like show you guys where we at on where every player on the team is at right now. I can tell you for sure Scumpy's like double positive, because this is how Scumpy is. The kid's ridiculous, and I'll never say that enough. But at this point, I just want to, like, it's really emphasizing on the position on the map. like I was saying earlier on the other side, when you push street, it's great, but you don't have a control of green, it's useless. So you're gonna see us a lot on green side, and the only time that we're gonna give up a flag cap on this side is when we don't have control of green side, and that's your primary focus on this side. If you have a flag lead after the first side, you want to control green. So at this point, they were pushing up street. Our team was more worried about street, and they all died on street, which is bad. At this point, I'm alive green, but they're already getting a flag out, and I get killed from middle around a wall because Venge is Angelina Jolie impersonating, curving bullets and shit. But yeah, so like I said, controlling green is like the most primary importance on this side if you have a lead, because if you don't give up green, you're not gonna give up a flag. So we didn't have control of green. They killed me. I was the last player of green. I killed one, and I traded kills, which wasn't enough at that time. And they got the flag out and got a cap. So it's as simple as that. If you don't get control of green side, you're just gonna give up flags. It's like simple. Like I was watching the Iowa challenge. I'm gonna be comparing a lot because obviously that was like amateurish play because some of the teams out there don't really seem to know what they're doing. But like there's a lot of different maps where every map has the point as a side or a spawn that you have to back up to your flag to. In a very rare situation, you can actually push out, but it's really important to back up to your flag all the time. So we have 3 dead right now. One of the things you have to understand on this map is that the only right way of holding a flag, in my opinion, obviously I'm going to say my opinion because I see teams doing it differently and sometimes it works, but to have a high successful ratio of pulling a flag and actually capturing this on this map, you have to pull street. So obviously the best way to getting a flag out street is by killing all 4 and having one of your teammates street. But usually what's going to happen is you'll have a guy market, you'll have a guy middle, and then you'll have a guy street. So you kind of like you have to time it correctly if you want to get like a perfect flag pull. You want to push market and middle at the same time, and then you want to push street after they spawn. So mainly you kind of like you want to force a street spawn, but you want to push him street. You kind of like you want to run the flag at him, and while you kill them. And at that point, if you can do that successfully, because street spawn is pretty easy to kill. For those who like are not very familiar with, I mean, most of the people watching now are kind of familiar, but like if you look at the street area, it's like pretty easy to spawn kill. Like you can see Merc, they always spawn in this corner. They have nowhere to go. So mainly, if you make him spawn street and you have a guy street, you'll get the flag. Usually get the flag out by killing them off spawn, and that's the position you want to put yourself in on this map. But if you do like right now, Merc is street, someone's middle, and we have no market. So this makes them spawn market, and they can easily back up and protect their flag. And at that point, you're kind of like screwed, since you're not going anywhere. They're just gonna stun their flag peg. Like I could just go look at where they are on the map. Here, I'll just show you real fast. Like you see TPs here. Like just TP alone could stop this flag peg. There could be 3 guys on flag, and they wouldn't kill TP because that's probably the best head glitch on the map. So at this point, our flag pull is like we're not in a good position to pull a flag, and we're actually giving them market side. So they get a flag out but we got really 2 clutch kills on their flag, which is really good, and it kind of makes it easier for us to like stop this flag cap. So I get a good stun on flag out. That's always important. You always need to get pre-stuns, and we get a return, and we're kind of in a safe situation. Sorry, I don't know why I pressed B by mistake. All right, so here comes. I think this is where we actually get a good push going. So at this point, my teammate died middle, but I still have. I have big timer street who's gonna push from street, and I'm pushing market. So this was a situation where I wasn't aware of the play. So right here, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna push market, but since big time was pushing from street before I was, that's the importance. He was in street before, so he's blocking street before. So if anyone's on the spawn or on their spawn time, they're gonna spawn market. So I wasn't paying attention to that, and I got killed in the back easily off spawn because one of the players spawned there, and they might even got a split spawn since I was market. So this is the importance of what I was saying earlier. Is like the only way you can really get a good flag pull on the bad side of Bootleg is by having 3 players alive pushing every angle. So you want to push markets, middle, and then street afterwards to get the spawn kills. So once again, one of the things we realized after we led that first flag cap is we were giving up market really easily. So one thing we really do at the end of this first side, or this map, is that we're aggressive on market before we're aggressive anywhere else. So as you can see, Scumpy on maps getting kills. I got one of the players was expecting a player to push street, which is smart on his part. And at this point, we get 3 down. So I thought we were going to get that out, but we didn't. But really, at this point, they're going to spawn market since Big Timer is pushing street, and Scumpy died on flag, sadly. So actually, we're just going to try and get kills. At this point, I'm always going to say at this point because the situation's changed dramatically. That's one of the things that I think been making me a good player in the past years is the fact that you have to acknowledge situations and they always change. If you're like set a route in your head, like when I say route is like a direction you're going in, and you don't change it according to what's happening, then you're just, I mean, most of the time what you're going to do is pretty stupid and useless. So at this point, I had no reason to push in the market, because if you push market first, then, I mean, there's nothing much going to happen if you have no one to push middle, since you're not going to be putting any pressure on them. So we're heading towards the end of the side here. It's still 1-1. Actually, at this point, we get 3 down. So this is the situation I was talking about earlier. Let's see the positions. We have Scumpy market. We have Big Timer who's middle, already at the flag, and at this point, I'm middle pushing street. So this is the exact situation I was talking about. This is like a perfect situation of pulling a flag on bootleg. Let's just go over it again, just so you guys can completely understand. You can work on this with your team, but this is what works best for us. Obviously, some teams might have something that works best for them, but when you get kills, taking advantage of them. So actually, we get 4 down. And since I have a teammate market and a teammate middle, they spawn, and at this point, they're going to spawn market. So this is the rotation people have to understand. All right, this is where it gets good. It gets to the point where. So I'm just going to show it. I'm going to show everyone from the start. Again, just so people can understand. Because I know I got some slow-mos in here. And if anyone in the stream is just showing hate or like calling me a nerd or different things, go ahead, bro. Like, be my guest. I don't care. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it for the people who are interested in learning and getting better at the game, and hopefully making money one day playing a video game. I'm sorry if that's not your goal, and if it's not your goal or doing anything in general in this game, then you don't have to be here. So, sue yourself. Alright, so we're going over to play again. At this point, I'm going to pause it, because, wait, I'm going to pause it whenever we get all the kills. So, this is 4 dead. Right here is 4 dead. So, and all 4 of us are alive. This is the most important part. So, Scumpy's pushing market. Big Timer, Merc is market already. And then Big Timer is on flag. Then I get the spawn kill, and at this point, if you want to look on map, I'll show you exactly where they're spawning. Actually, one player got the street spawn, which is why you want to push street after everyone else, after you despawns. So at this point, they're all going to be spawning right market, right in front of Merc. They're going to be spawning in this area right here. So as you see, we got the pull at this point. Wait, I want to see. Yeah, we got the pull. So we're going to be seeing Big Timer pull street. Scumpy's going to be coming from market to middle. All right, this is important. You can't. If Scumpy were to push back to market, he might cut off that spawn and then make them spawn street. And at that point, you're kind of like, you're like fucking up the way that things happen, which is not what you want to do. So as you see, Scumpy goes back to middle. They're gonna be spawning right in front of Scumpy. I'm running back with Big Timer. I'm gonna get middle top middle, so I can support Merc. Actually, Merc dies really fast, which is not the greatest thing. I'm not even sure how he died. I actually want to see it because I can actually here, look. We'll see what Merc was doing. So at this point, in my opinion, Merc should have been backed up. Merc should have been at the center blocks. But at this point, him being really aggressive up here, kind of like, because they're all spawn market. You can see they're just all flood out, and he was like looking at the middle guy, and then he got killed. In a more ideal position would have been being back at your center blocks, because then you're just giving yourself one choke to watch. The area he was giving him was 2 angles, which is like obviously not the greatest thing to do. You always want to be watching one thing, and that's the point of the game, is like getting choke points. But since I was backing up the middle, and I know he died, I'm going to be backing up all the way to flag, and we get a good rotation going. Scumpy came back to middle, and the players that you saw Merc that were heading to middle, Merc was coming back, or Scumpy was coming back and killing him. So at this point, I get a stun off, and Big Timer just try to jump it in, but the stuns and nades that we got were really clutch here, and obviously gonna get us the win since we can just jump the flag again. Actually, Ace dies. I'm not even sure. I'm pretty sure we get this flag cap. Yeah, we do. All right. So at this point, there's 30 seconds left. Like something people have to understand is that obviously, like the way this map works is when you're on the bad side, it's really hard to get a flag cap because of two things. It's hard to get a flag out, and it's hard to get choke points when you get a flag out. Because either way you're gonna pull it, they're gonna be spawning somewhat in a decent position to get to your flag. So if you pull street, they're gonna be spawning market, which is pretty much right to green. It's like the situation you want to control in. And if you push them far enough, if you get a few kills while you break off of a market spawn, then like in that situation, they got one kill off Merc, and it opened up the entire map because you need to put so much attention on the street. And at that point, that's when things bad happen and players on your team die, and then so on and so forth. That could have been a counter cap situation if you didn't play it right. But it's always adjusting. So one thing people have to understand, obviously, is adjusting is one of the main points that I talked about on Bootleg. Being aggressive on street once you get the flag out because you want to pull street. Pulling street is much better than pulling middle or market. If you pull middle, they spawn street, and they spawn far up street, like mutation spawn when I kill them off spawn, which gives them a clear angle, like stunning the middle, which is like the exact thing you want to do. So I'm just going to look at questions on the stream right now. If anyone's got any questions. Obviously, this map is over. We're going to be up 1-0. This was a really close map. Obviously, we only won 2-1. And usually, Bootleg is a low-scoring map. You'll rarely see really high amounts of flag captures on Bootleg since it's pretty hard to get a flag out. Let's see. Rambo, if you're on the side, you're defending now. I mean, if I'm on the bad side or the good side. If you're on the side, you're defending now and push middle and market and pull middle. They spawn. Well, that's the thing. That's exactly why that's why I'm like projecting you guys that pulling street is better. Because one thing that's really hard to control is market spawns. It's much easier to cut off a street spawn to deny a street spawn than a market spawn. Because you can be like I showed earlier, you can be in market and they can still spawn there right behind you. So that's why I'm like emphasizing on the fact that pulling street is much better. And I mean, obviously it's just self-explanatory to the point where if you're going to be market, if you're going to be pulling middle when you have a guy market, but yeah, they still spawn market, then you're kind of like, because you can be like less aggressive and let your guy middle push for the flag and then like stay in the middle of market, but then they can spawn right on top of their flag your street and stun your flag out, and then he has no support. So that's really like the way you have to pull flag. You kind of like need 2 or 3 guys to get a flag out on the bad side of this map, which is why it makes it really hard. Semtex or frag? I use Semtex. The only suggestion I have for frag is S&D. Sometimes like I'll pull it out and search for like maybe nade spots that people really like stay in. But yeah, cynical. Like I said, it's really to the point where if you don't have anyone street, then they spawn there, and then you notice everyone who knows the street spawns. There's 2 street spawns. Like there's the one that's like really close. That's pretty much like right here where you can like get easy stuns on your flag. So if you don't have anyone street in the first place, then you're kind of like it's going to be really hard to get a flag out. You need like really good spawn timings. And then the second street spawn is over here where they spawn and they can just run up and get the flag out. So in ever the case that you do, if like obviously I'm not going to say never pull middle, because if you have no one street, then pulling it street as a flag guy is kind of stupid if you have a guy market, since usually at least one or two of the players are going to spawn there. So if you're going to run it through middle, in my opinion, the best scenario is if you're going to have a guy market, the best thing to do is as the market player right here will have to back up and get the help for the middle guy. And you never want to run the flag right through middle. Like one thing that LVG did on the first time we played this map, they captured the flag. When they pulled the flag, they went through middle and they went through this alleyway to market side. Because obviously we're spawning street, and for us to just run up street and like you get easy stuns on this area. So I think that's one of the main points that people need to understand is like you have to run the flag in accordance to where your teammates are. It's just as simple as that. Sure, sometimes it's not going to be the best situation, but if obviously there's always that's how Call of Duty is. It's making in clutch plays, and if you can get clutch kills, then you can make anything work. So to answer your question, if you had a guy middle and guy market, I would suggest your market guy backing up to that market spawn that they're probably going to get and help your flag out. Hopefully your flag guy doesn't die, and then you can help him out, get the flag to market. And at that point, that's a pretty safe cap since you're running all the way across and they're going to be spawning street. And all you have to do at that point, your other 2 players can just cut off middle and your street side. So That's fairly easy. Alright, so we're going to go over Search and Destroy on C-Town. I think Scumpy got like 11 kills or something in this one. If you flood street and market, they spawn on their flag peg. There's the back middle area, for those who know, they have a spawn. There's a spawn point there. So that's pretty much you never really want to do that. I mean, that's kind of like, I mean, sure, it can work out. I'm not saying it can't, but the thing about Bootleg, like on the bad side, like I was saying, is like you can't really control the spawns perfectly unless you have a perfect route to it. So if you're already sketchy with the positions you have and you make them spawn or flag, you can kill them, sure. But after you kill them, it's like so hard to tell where they're going to spawn since you don't really have self-control of where they're going to spawn. Your position doesn't really give a set spawn. So they might get a split spawn, and then at that point, it's just bad things happen. You can get counter-capped and shit like that. And that's one of the things I think we're working on as a team is the fact that we're trying to understand in situations that when we do have a chance for a flagpole, but sometimes it doesn't go as perfect as we can, and we seem to like overextend ourselves while we're underside of the map. And it's kind of like stupid to say since you're already underside. You can't really overextend yourself since you're far up already. But you have to give up flag cap sometimes. You kind of have to like overslay and just not focus on a flag cap. That's one thing. That's one of the things I've been working on for myself, is that there's situations where I'll just be like so tempted to just go for the flag and just run the flag. But it's like, it's kind of stupid sometimes. It kind of like, you have to kill to get the flag out more. Sometimes, like if they're all four alive and you just try and run it, then it's not going to work out usually. So that's one of the things I've been working on myself. And so yeah. So we're gonna start it off on C-Town S&D.
Search and destroy.
So obviously, one of the things that I've been talking about lately is the weapon usage. Actually, I haven't made that video. Actually, sorry, I haven't talked about it yet. But I'm going to talk about it now. So, a few topics that people have to always consider is the gun they use. So, whenever you play Search and Destroy, there's not really a set. Like, if you use an SMG, it doesn't really like give you the advantage you have in CTF to run a bit faster and get these close range kills. And one of the things I've been finding myself doing a lot since I started playing this game when I'm using an SMG in Search and Destroy is putting myself in a position where I don't really have the weapon I have to be having to get those kills. So one of the things I started working on is playing with an ACR on Search and Destroy, which is what I've been doing pretty much all the time. And as you can see right here on C-Town, actually, I think it was the first time I've never been the bomb carrier for my team. So, so I'm going to be controlling B-side. So one thing people have to understand in Search and Destroy is like you'll work on certain things with your team. So the first thing you do when you make a team and you go into a tournament is work on breakoffs. Obviously, that's the most obvious thing you can say is like, okay, well, you're going to go here, you're going to go there, trying to like cut off, trying to like make a setup to where your team puts themselves in a position that it has to be to get some kills and stuff. One of the things we've been doing as a team is actually just winging it. Like, when I say winging it is like, we don't actually have set strategies. The way we've been doing is like, really like, according to the situation we're in. As stupid as it sounds, it's working. Which is pretty much completely against anything I've ever like, worked on in my career, like, as far as like being a smart player in general. I've never like, actually went out of my way to like, be like, okay, well, let's just fucking do this, that, and whatever. I hope it works. But the thing about doing that is like it's actually good practice. Obviously, I'll never go into a tournament with my team and we'll be completely like we've been playing together for like a few months now. So obviously, we all have an understanding of where we're going on the map. Like we've been playing these ICN tournaments and such. So obviously, we all know where we're going. Like somewhat. Like I know I go B on this side on offense, and like I know I'll switch it. Sometimes I'll go middle to B and such, and so on and so forth. And then like Scumpy goes middle, so on and so forth. Like on every map, there's always positions that you've been playing a lot, and we stick to those. Like we don't just randomly like change spots every side. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is we don't have like set routes that we do because it's usually you have to be able to understand what's happening. So like what we do is we kind of like obviously you also have to make sure that your team's on the same page. here's another thing I want to touch before I go into this map is when someone says make sure your teammates are on the same page and search and destroy, is that if you're gonna say you're gonna watch an area, you're gonna watch it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you have to watch it from the same angle every time. Like sometimes I'll go watch the middle side, and sometimes I'll just push out through B right here in this angle. So on this side, I actually decided to go through the pillars. I try to sneak it. Like one of the things people have to understand in search and destroy, since this is a relatively new game. Obviously, it's not so new anymore since we're almost like what, 5 months into it, 5 or 6 months now. But to the point where like search and destroy is never like an overplayed game type. So trying different things and playing different routes to different locations is not always expected. So in my opinion, doing the unexpected is like an actual good thing. So at this point, I try to push through pillars. One of my teammates already died, so obviously right now I asked for third person, so he can see me in third person. He can see around me. He's able to call out in certain situations, and position of players. So I'm just pushing around the B right now. I'm trying to get a kill or two. I spot one, get an easy kill. And this is where, right now we're in a what? I fucking hate this game for that. I don't know how many people are alive on my team, so we're on a 3-on-2 situation. So it's TP mutation, me and Big T. So if you look on the map, Scumpy's in A building. Big Timer is watching from the windows. He might actually pick off mutation. That's all the way back left. And then TP's at B because he knows I was there. And actually, TP pushes me and picks me off. So I call out that player, and Scumpy was pushing along bomb side, so he was able to get an aggressive kill. And I'm pretty sure Big Timer saw the last player in the corner, so we get an easy kill in the round. But God, my nose is like itching. Sorry about that. One second, guys. And yeah, that's one of the things Decon just said. Like when you have players that understand the game and understand what's need to be done, and it's not even about being smart. It's just understanding the fact that you need to watch choke points. It's as simple as that. If you're gonna run through the map through the middle and just be stupid, then you don't really give yourself a chance to like do things the logical way. You're just like a lot of teams that, like I've been watching a lot of European scrims, and that's one of the things that I think is going to be somewhat hard playing S&D in Europe, is the fact that these teams play so freaking aggressive that it just makes it almost to the point where it's random. And like obviously, if you run into the middle of the map, it's not expected. So I mean, sure you can get a kill or two, but if you died and you just put yourself in a disadvantage so early in the game, and if the other team's smart about it, then they can move around the map in a smart way to where they can work together and just pick off one player at a time and such. So we played well that first round. We were in positions. That's another thing I want to point out in search and destroy. If you're the smartest player in search and destroy, you have to be one. If you want to be the smartest player, I'm not. If you want to be, you have to always be in a position to where you're able to pick off kills, and a position where you can trade kills. So I think that's what makes Scumpy so good at this game, is the fact that he's always rotating in positions where his teammates are. That's one thing that I don't think anyone's ever noticed. But if you watch Scumpy play, he's always up front and near his teammates. If he's like alone, like sometimes he'll go really big and get like a lot of kills, because he like sometimes he'll know where you are, where his opponents are. But especially in search and destroy, every time you die, Scumpy seems to be there and kills the guy that killed you, and that's ridiculous. Like that's just like sick. So right now you guys are gonna see my secret spot. Actually, I failed it this time, but I try to jump on. You can jump on that blue ledge right here. I'll show you guys. Actually, we'll probably see it. I don't know if it's saved the game, but I did it against Epsilon. And if any player goes in those windows right here, it's pretty easy to pick off, since there's like this little bathtub right here you can like shoot over. So that's one of the spots I've been using. Actually, it works really well when they ACR. It's usually a free pick every time. So this is another situation I was talking about. Scumpy ran right through the middle and tried to go for like a really greedy. It's okay to do it sometimes, but if you do it every time, then it's just like to the point where it's expected, and it's just really random. So like TP got the kill on Scumpy, and I just made it a really, I don't know if you guys can hear the beeping sound, sorry about that. But it makes it a really like random push to where like you never know what can happen now. So at this point we're down a man really fast, and it's what it is. We're down 4v3. So I get a call from my teammate obviously, and sadly he was just waiting for me to push that. There was 2 of them actually, I didn't know that. And at this point we're in a 4v2 situation, and it's going to be a tough spot for my team. So one thing they're doing right now is they're just playing it slow. That's really what you want to do when you play in a 4v2 situation. It's like just being as slow as you can and trying to work your way around getting a kill or 2, and then putting yourself back in the game. If the worst thing you can do as a team when you're up on kills is just run alone. Like if you put yourself in a situation that you're just gonna run in one, like right here, they just run in one at a time. Like obviously it's a 4v1, it doesn't really matter at this point, but it's just like, it's kind of stupid to just run in and give yourself out. I mean, if they obviously they planted a bomb and everything, there was the chance of them losing that round were really slim to none. But if you're planting a bomb, like you shouldn't have no reason to push or be aggressive. It's just giving the other team a chance. And I actually saw it earlier, big time, clutched a 1v4 on the stream. If anyone saw it on the Iowa Gaming Challenge against FaZe or whoever was playing for that team, he clutched a 1v4, but they were just like not playing smart. He killed the guy who was planting the bomb, which is fine, but his teammates were like split out around the map on Dome, like so badly. Like as soon as you know where bomb is, it's like kind of like it's planned, he can bait it. So it almost became his bomb. And yeah, for anyone who saw it, it was pretty sick, but still, like, he killed the bomb on the bomb side, and then he just killed another guy around the bomb side who was watching him, and then the other 2 teammates on that team were like completely on the other side of the map, which is fucking retarded. And he only had like 2 or 3 choke points to watch, which is really easy to watch when you have third person where your teammates can watch around you. So, for those who've been playing Call of Duty for a long time, you probably know that there's always a good side and a bad side. Offense on some maps is always better than defense on some maps. This is a map that I don't really feel like there's a better side to it. It's really hard. I think it's a harder defensive side because it's so there's like not really a set choke points to watch on the A side. Obviously, like on B side, there's a different area. And like I said earlier, I'm always gonna watch. As you can see, he didn't expect it at all. I always watch choke points from different angles. Always. So by not doing the same exact thing I did the first round, it just gave me a free kill on Vengeance because he jumped on the step up. So it's something that you have to, like, if you do the unexpected, if you play, like I'm watching the same choke point. The only way he could have got by that is by like running straight through B through those pillars. But like obviously it's to the point where like the chances of him doing that are really slim to none. And that was like a free kill. So once again, I'm going to try being aggressive on B side. One thing, like, that stun I threw right there, it kind of gives out the A hallway. Like, I know a lot of players, like, once you get a kill, they kind of tend to think you're going to plant the bomb. So this is one hallway that people are going to use a lot to get to A bomb. Right now, there wasn't anyone there, so obviously I stunned it twice, so I didn't see anything. And I don't really see anyone on B side. Since my teammate I know is in the hallway, I'm just going to try and get a position where I can watch it for him. So there's most likely someone at B. Like, I don't even know right now. Here, we'll go watch it together. I'm sure there's like a guy inside B anywhere. Where actually no, there isn't, which is really weird. Where are these teammates? Where is he? So Teep's running through middle somehow. How the hell did Teep get there? Actually, we're in a 4v1 situation. I didn't see that happening. See, that's crazy. Actually, are we? Yeah, that was really weird. All right, let's not worry about that round. But anyways, we somehow got a lot of kills and it didn't show up on screen. But to the point where, like I was saying, being in certain positions on the map is important. So the more you cover, the better it is. But the more you're pushed up alone, the worse it is, because then you give yourself a chance to die and not really like be in a position to trade a kill. So the smartest way to play Search and Destroy is getting a first pick, like getting a pick kill, which is getting a kill from a distance. And like obviously, if you're getting a kill from distance, you're not really in a position where you can get traded. And then working your way towards an objective by trading kills on offense. And on defense, if you can get the first kill, and it's just really about being patient and being responsive to how they rush it. Because most teams work together whenever they play on offense. They won't just push from different angles. Like the way you set up accordingly to the start of a round is like you'll watch every player on the team's going to watch a choke point, a choke point, a choke point, a choke point. It's like, look, if you look on on C-Town, there's 4 choke points. So there's like one here, and then there's actually 3 when you think about it. So there's 3 places you got to watch on this map. And like the way the round starts is you'll have a player go watch every choke point, but then as the round goes on, a team's going to be more on one side of the map. So you don't want to have only one player watch a choke point, because then even if you get a kill to start round, you can get triple team, which is not what you want to do. So it's always acknowledging a position a team's taking to like defend a map. So, one second. I'm just looking at the comments for a second. I should review subscribers' gameplay. Watching subscribers' gameplay isn't gonna make you learn much. It's gonna I don't want to do that right now. It's not why this series is up. It's like, I mean, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I can actually like go through this gameplay and make you understand what's the thought process behind the plays. So once again, I'm gonna fail this jump. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I'm gonna try it again and fail it again. Usually there's like an A step up there you can just press on it, but I wasn't able to do it. So I kind of give up on it. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get killed in a really stupid matter. We've never really done this, so here I try to put myself in a position where I can watch it from like an angle to where I won't get shot right away, but I clearly gave him an angle that I didn't know about. And it just got me killed. So, and we all die really fast on this side. That's one of the things on defense, you can't do that. You can't just like all die really fast. It's pointless, and it kind of like gives them. We pretty much just give LVG like a free round here. So this round's pretty much over big time. I mean, they get the bomb off. Like, okay, here's a quick tip. If you're in a 1v4 situation, you can't let them plant. Simple as that. You let them plant, it's over. There's absolutely no way in hell you're going to clutch it. Unless your team's absolutely stupid. But anytime you're playing a top team and you're in a 1v4 situation, you have to be like overly aggressive on the bomb side. And just hopefully like you pick the right one. Which on this map is pretty easy to pick. You have to go to A. And if you let them plant, then you're screwed, because then you can just camp in corners, and the chances of you getting like a 2-piece, which is needed to clutch a 1v4, like, they're done. So victim rate gets picked off as they plant a bomb, and shit happens. By the way, for those wanting about CTF and SD, I'm going to be going over CTF, SND, CTF, SND, and that's how we played the show match. We just play one after the other. So again, this time I decided, instead of like doing a regular route pattern, I decided to go back to the middle. The expected pattern would have been going back to the building I was in, and actually TP rushed middle, which got us a kill. This is a bad position. If Vengeance was around the corner, wait, I'm trying to like go look if Vengeance is actually there. Actually, he's not. Doesn't seem like he is, at least. Okay, Vengeance is like waiting for me. So if Vengeance was anywhere and is behind this white wall area, he could have a teammate third personing and show exactly where I was, and he could have like jumped up on a step up and just pretty much pick me off. So I'm gonna like acknowledge that like in a second right here. I'm gonna be like, okay, I don't want to be here because this is stupid. And that's one of the things you always have to like encounter and or take in consideration, is when obviously a situation that if he was getting third person and his teammate would have called me out, then he would have known where I was and could have rushed me in a position, a certain way that I couldn't be able to kill him. So this is the situation I was talking about earlier, where whenever you're on offense, you're trying to like bunch up as a team and try and stick together to where you can like cover each other while you're doing a certain motion. And one of the questions I saw on stream, I'll just answer that real fast. Is extreme conditioning always the best choice for search and destroy? In my opinion, sleight of hand just doesn't do enough to use. Reloading fastly obviously can be like a certain advantage, but I still don't see it being more useful. Like, there's the amount of times that you'll be like stuck in a position where you can't reload like good. It's like really slim to none. I mean, there's like, especially with extended mags on an SMG. And the ACR shit's fairly slow in this game, so your bullets, your clip lasts pretty long. I mean, it's kind of like retarded to like use sleight of hand, in my opinion. what's the difference? I'll just answer another question while we're at it. What's the difference between scrims and show matches? Big difference between a scrim and a show match is that there's a certain feel that you don't get when you play a scrim, to where you don't really feel like you have to win. When you play a show match, like we played a show match on our team scrim, on our team channel organization of Apex, it's like you have this incentive that you want to win to obviously like show good to your sponsors and stuff that you're doing well. So like our team was way more into it, to the point where we wanted to play to win, like we were playing for money. And when you scrim, you just don't have the same feel to it. So I think that's a feel you get in a scrim, and the feel that you get, and the difference between a show match and a scrim. And obviously, you have like the commentators, and you have a lot more viewers in general. It's a better experience for the spectator and as a player as well, in my opinion. Your best gun should be using sleight of hand. That makes no sense. Your best player shouldn't have to reload at all, if anything. Like that makes no sense at all. So at this point, we're in a 3v1 situation. I just pushed to the bomb side because, like I said earlier, Vengeance played it smart to the point where you can't let the other team play when you're in like a 1v3 or 1v4 situation. But I didn't have the bomb, first of all, and I got him. I killed him before he was able to kill me. So.
Switching sides.
I'm not entirely sure what happened on this map. I think we went to the last round. So far we've won 3 rounds of offense and now 1 of defense, and that's not really good. That's definitely not a good thing. So we called out like a strat here on this side. We try to like switch it up and like be really aggressive on B side. Big Timer died really fast, which kind of like made it pointless. We still lost the player really fast. Like what we were trying to do is like, since they had like 2 or 3 players on the A side, we try to take advantage of that, the lack of positioning on the B side, and just take advantage of it and pushing it, which is pretty much like that's how you can figure out good strats on Search and Destroy, is where, like I said earlier, like I watched B from 2 different angles so far on offense. I went to the back red building and I went through middle, but exactly like if to the point where if I would have middle, like I said earlier, the chance of someone running right through B is slim to none, but that's the time where we did it, and that's the time where he wasn't watching it. So that's the sort of risk you have to take sometimes to like make something that's not working out very good work. And like as our strat wasn't working very well, we took a chance and did that. So right here, I got behind him, and Ace turned around and like shot at me, like, and then they still like 3 guys in that A area, like, which is fucking retarded. Like they have no map presence. So that's in my opinion, that's why we lost a lot of defenses. We didn't take advantage of that. If they're not spread out, and we just run into them one at a time, we kind of give them what they want. But if we spread around the side of the map that they're not using, then that's when things get really iffy for them, because even if they push, they don't really have any map control unless they get the bomb down. So us being really far up on the map makes it like really easy. So at this point, the position that my team has, Merc's on the step up on B side. TP's got a really nice forehead. But TP's still watching B from there. Mutation's on the stairs, Venge is there, and Ace is dead. So at this point, Scumpy's in a really good spot. We actually I called out that there's 3 guys in that area, and Scumpy's here like pretty much just waiting for something to happen. So he gets the first kill. He gets the second kill, and then I called out the last guy who was shooting at him and gets a sick 3-piece. And just shits on him. So Scumpy just rapes the entire team pretty much. That's what just happened. So look at the stats rapidly just for the hell of it. Scumpy got like, he went 8 and 4, or actually Scumpy only got 6 kills again. I thought he got like, and you see we won with Merc didn't get a kill at the map and we still won. So that's like one of the things you have to like always encounter. Like there's always a player on your team that won't be doing that great, but if you can win while he's doing bad, that's what makes good teams. It's teams that can still win when a player's like not doing too well. Yeah, I just totally like sat on my leg and I had no blood running through it. All right, that's the worst feeling ever. All right. Anyways, next map. Any questions? Let's see. Do I go to school? No, I am a graduate in computer tech science, and I currently game full-time as a living. Rambo on Dome, CTF, should you 3 SMGs on Dome or 2? In my opinion, the more SMGs you have, the better it is on Dome. It obviously depends to how your team plays it. One thing people have to take into consideration is the more assault rifles you have on the team, the more you're relying on one player to pull flags, which is bad. Which is like not really the right way of playing it. So if you have 2 assault rifles and your 2 SMG dies, but you're still in a great position on the map, then your assault player is forced to pull the flag. And I mean, sure, it's the difference in running is not that fast, but the way the spawns are in this game, the way it's balanced for the way like the speed is balanced for assault, it makes a huge difference when you have an assault rifle pull a flag. Is it better to go for a click plant or wait a minute to try and pick off the opposition? It depends. It depends what map. If you're playing C-Town, it's a really hard map to get a quick plant on unless they're like not watching A completely at all. And even then, if you don't have any presence on the map and you don't take control of the area you plan in, it's kind of like you have to make a plant is okay. I'm gonna go over that again. I was like butchering that up. A plant is only good when you can take control of the area you're planning in. A plant makes the other team it forces the defensive team to take out. They mainly become the offensive team. So let's say we're actually gonna watch, I think, Underground. I'm gonna show you guys Underground, which is a perfect example of what makes a team push you. Even we didn't have the bomb planted at sometimes, and they were forced to push us. So, all right. So I'll show you guys before we go Underground search. I'll show you guys the arcade and CTF, since a lot of people want to see some CTF going on. Why am I so cute? Good God. How long do you think this team's going to last until ever? I mean, I don't really see this team breaking up at all. We're pretty good. We're all good players. We're all able to hold our own until that stops happening. I'm pretty sure we're going to be sticking together. How is the E rules going to affect how you play? The only difference between European rules and our rules is you're not allowed to use extended mags. So, and that's the only difference. So, the only big difference is you can't really pre-fire without extended mags. You'll see a lot of SMG players just fucking hold the trigger, and it takes a good 15 seconds before they can stop shooting. So you can just if you have someone cornered, you can just pre-fire and just kind of rotate yourself around to an angle where you can shit him, and you never stop shooting so they can't get away from it. But that's a big difference. Treyarch or iDub? Treyarch obviously, because they fucking care about us. Let's see. Okay. Rambo, you said it's pretty much impossible to clutch a 1v3 of bomb planted. Is it wise to go for a ninja defuse? Ninja defuse is I don't know if you're going into the extreme word where you're right next to the bomb site and he plants it and you go straight for the defuse. But if you play against a good team, there's never going to be a guy that stops watching bomb site. It's and there's no way of making a sound wasn't it in Black Ops to where he can defuse without hearing it or something? I remember there was some game where you can fake, or there was no bomb sound. I forgot what game it was, but there was absolutely no bomb, or was it the beeping noise or something? I forgot what game it was, but there's I think it was Black Ops, pretty sure. But there's no sound when you picked up the bomb, which makes it possible to get a sneak defuse on. But with the way iDub does it is there's a big sound when you pick up the bomb, or it switches your gun and everything. So it's pretty much impossible to get a ninja defuse off. Your best bet when there's a 1v3 and they have the bomb planted is to rush towards the bomb and fake it as much as you can and make him come out towards you. That's pretty much your best bet. There's no other way of doing it, and you have to give yourself time. That's one thing I want to go over. Hopefully I can finally get a situation where a player on my team clutches with the bomb around the bomb and show you guys. Yeah, it was a spin around. There you go. The spin around in Black Ops, you couldn't hear it. So if you were in a 1v3 situation, we were near a bomb when he planted it. And it's that's one thing that people have to understand is there's always patterns when the bomb's planted. You have 45 seconds when the bomb's planted. So the earlier you get the bomb site, the better it is. The more time you give yourself to make something happen and play the objective accordingly. So if you kind of go to the bomb site and you're in a let's say it's a 1v2, and you go to the bomb site with 15 seconds left, then you go for a fake defuse. What's that going to do? One guy's going to come out and try and kill you. Then right after that, after the 15 seconds mark, that's when the game's over, unless you're in a really good position compared to the other guy, and you can somehow fake him out. But 15-second mark is the time where you have to decide if you're gonna fake it if it's a 1v1, it's the time you have to decide if you're going to fake it or defuse it right away. And sometimes, like, even then, it's like, after 15 seconds, if you start defusing, the guy can come out at 9 seconds and kill you before you can get a real defuse off. Or, like, if you kill him, then you won't have time to defuse it. Let's see for more questions. If in E-rules set in LAN events, you got to take your headset off after you die in SD. Are you serious? I've never heard about that. That's actually pretty interesting. I've actually never heard about that. That's probably the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. I use nothing on the PP90 and UMP. Just blank. Can't third person in E rules? That's kind of funny. That actually makes a big difference. I'm actually intrigued to that. That's actually really stupid though. That's like a big part of search, is like helping your, like, that's what makes it competitive in my opinion. Like, makes it smart to where you can, like, every player on the team can still work at it even when they're dead. Let's see. Any other questions? Oh yeah, no, Envy. Let Envy talk, dude. Seriously, that's one of the things that I was actually gonna say is like the part about a show match and a scrim. Like when we scrim Envious, there's like obviously we're playing as much as hard as we can, but the communication just isn't there when you play like a scrim. It's like you call out, but there's there's no enthusiasm. There's no like real emotions going through, and some teams thrive on that, and that's how we work. Like if ever we cap a flag on you, like we're hard to stop because we're like so into it, and we don't even play S&D, and that's probably S&D is probably like our strongest game type. So, what is my biggest choke of all time in search and destroy? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, as a team, it's probably like in Anaheim when I was with Optic, when we played against Fear in Assassin Clutch at 1v4 because we all played like hella stupid. But like that wasn't really my fault, to be honest. So. All right, so let's keep going. This is Arcade and CTF. We played this perfectly, actually.
Capture the flag.
Played this really well.
Capture the objective.
Pretty sure we won this map 4-0. So we were playing a best of 9, by the way, for those. So break off on this map is kind of butchered up because everyone picked the wrong teams and they didn't end the game to like start it off from fresh. So that's up to them, really. It's not like anyone really cared. But one of the things you have to understand on Arcaden is you have to push flank to get a flag out on this side. This is the bad side, the other side is the good side. For the simple reason that cutting off, it's the same thing on every map. There's always a side where it's easier to cut off spawns and push bad spawns than other maps. Like if you play like for this map, for example, on this side you have to push flank to force the middle spawn. And on other maps, like on the other side, you can push a backstairs spawn by simply pushing through the middle and the left side, which is like just like simple areas. But pushing flank on this map's really open, so it's kind of hard to get. It's like really hard to do it sneaky, and it's hard to do it perfectly because people see usually. So at this point, we're also playing on a West Coast host, so obviously some of the shots might not register as well, or it might seem a bit different. One of the things that, for being an online player for a long time, because COD 4 was like online circuit and Modern Warfare 2 was online circuit, and it always makes a difference when you play on a certain host. You also have to like play accordingly. Like right there, I hit the guy like 5 times and he didn't die. So they get a good poke knife on that. Here's a situation where I ran into middle. Okay, this is where we pushed. So I just want to like acknowledge the situation we're in. I have a teammate. I just want to show you guys where I have teammates. I have a teammate on flank and I have a teammate top mid who's going to push middle with me. So as soon as you have a teammate on flank, he has to stay alive. As soon as your teammate on flank dies, this is when like it's really hard to get a flag cap or a flag pull. So I'm going to call that player out since they spawn back bar and he pushed flank. Like when you push flank, you have to acknowledge 2 things. the first thing when you do, you push flank, you want to make sure you're not spawning back bar, and you want to help your teammates cut off that spawn. And as soon as they stop spawning back bar, they're spawning eskies, which is here. I'll show. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to show you guys like one player that spawned. Like they either spawn right here on the left, or they spawn bottom bottom mini. And actually, we don't see any of them. I don't really know where they are on the map actually right now. I fucking hate the fact that you can't press the select button in this game. It's so ignorant. Like, why the fuck would you not be able to show the scoreboard when people are fucking dead? Regardless. So, we have Aches there. We have Venge and Mutation. So, we have 3 players, and I think there's 1 dead. So, they're all in a really bad position right now. As soon as they're going to spawn, they're going to be spawning Diamond or top Eskies. Because my teammate's pushing out a flank. So, I kind of make sure that my teammates get that kill. I'm sitting in a safe position where I won't get killed. And the last player is in the back bar. So, since my teammate didn't kill the back bar guy, this is the reason why I didn't run straight through green, because he's going to be running into bar and trying to kill me. So, this player right here should be moving back towards bar, but he isn't. He doesn't care. Vengeance, whatever. I mean, I was just making a smart play in case he decided. He could have ran straight back into bar, but he didn't. And it's whatever. So, I'm just going to run it towards the middle. And actually, there's a player on their team that was running straight down a mini, since we didn't really have cutoffs yet, but we do get the trade kill. So this should make it easier for us to get a flag cap. And at this point, we're pretty much guaranteed a flag cap unless there's a guy backstairs. And we always make sure, okay? That's one of the things we do right on this map, is we always ensure the right plays to be made. So we're always safe about things. And one of the things we don't do in scrims, like when we play Envious and things, we never really seem to be safe about things. We just always play greedy. And that's like a big difference when you play when you have the feel of you're playing for something. So as you can see right now, like as you see Big T, yeah, I'm gonna show Merc. Merc's the guy that played safe. You see, we just killed 2 guys and there was 2 on spawn. There's like a really slight chance one guy got a back, like a really close to the backstairs spawn, and Merc's watching his backstairs. So just by having like that one play Merc just made is like being really safe. It's not something that you absolutely need to do, but it's something that's really safe to do. So it's really like it's something that I think teams should start doing more often. Because that one time, like exactly like when you play Envy, like Sensor, that's all Sensor does. He just flanks you all the time. Like no matter what spawn he gets, he's gonna push, and he's gonna push towards your base, and it works. They make it in a certain way where it works for them. But if you play safe like this, it just totally counters that and pretty much takes one player. They're pretty much playing 3v4 the entire game because of that. So if you play right accordingly, you make their game style, you make their style of play completely not worthwhile. So Scumpy tries gets a pull right through middle. This is one of the plays that people have to understand, that this is a play that's only going to work if you do something weird. So as you can see, I just want to show Scumpy's screen. So as soon as we're going for that cap, Scumpy's running straight to the flag. So let's see the positions they're in. Vengeance is spawning up top. Ace is bottom mini. And the other 2 are on spawn. Vengeance this side. You see this type of play that loses you games. This is like not good. I'm sorry to point out someone, but that's just like not smart. You see they're all spawning. Did anyone on the team back up to their flag at all? I want to see Mutation. Like, see Mutation, dude. Okay, Mutation was the only player to back up the flag. See, that's like not good. And we already had the flag out at that point. Like, they're overextending completely. You can't do that. That's one thing, like, overextending yourself off a spawn, especially on this map when you're on the good side, you can't do that. You have to back up the bar and like slow him down and try and stop it. So Scumpy just goes for a repull, and this is the important part. If you look at where Scumpy's pulling the flag, he's gonna run it right through middle. He doesn't go over the edge, because if they were backing up the spawns, they would be able to see that from top glass, from top models. So if Vengeance would have backed up, and instead of going inside a doorway to middle and would have backed up to the top model, he would have had a clear shot on Scumpy pulling the flag, which is the normal thing to do, but he didn't. So as Scumpy ran a flag through middle, we were able to get easy cutoffs, and since they were all up top, they couldn't really drop down. Like, we were able to get really easy kills on the choke points, and Scumpy pretty much ran a flag through middle with 3 players alive, uncontested, because they didn't back up the flag. So it was just like making really like bold plays like that can work for you. And if you if you're adaptive as a team and you're adaptive to the situation you're in, you can make it work really well a lot. Like your percentage of like weird caps like that can be so high, and then in my opinion, that's what makes like a really good team better than any other team. So you see right there, I push out a green and I back up the flag. My teammates are dying. There's like no point in me, so I get the stun. Big Timer was top bottle, drops down, gets easy kill. If I wanted to back up, that player could have killed Big Timer, got away with the flag. And those are always the plays that you have to like make as a player, as an individual for your team. If you don't make those plays, then it's just the more your flags at your base, the less they can cap it. I mean, it's pretty simple, isn't it? So we're dying and we're spawning backstairs. We're always rotating back. One thing you have to understand is when you spawn backstairs, running forward is always like a risk. Sure, sometimes it can work, but when you back up the flag, you want to rotate the green. The sooner you get the green, the more safe you are at your own base. Because if you have a guy watching green and the only way they can push out and get a flag cap is through middle, and it's really hard to do that. Because you can just like stun a nade like Merrick was doing right there. You can just stun a nade that. So, and at that point, usually your players start spawning on flag. So the sole reason that I'm watching my backstairs right here is because my teammates spawn green, and you never know whenever your team. The way this game works is usually your team starts spawning in accordance to where your opponents are at. So at that time it wasn't the case, but usually that's how it worked. So we're in a really defensive status right here. We're kind of like slowing it down. We're up 2-0 with 2 minutes left at the bad side. We're just rotating it out. We're taking it slow. There's no use for us to just run out. If we trade kills, it's good. Like we just get one kill here and there. And at this point they get a flag out, and this is where Scumpy just decided to run out, which wasn't the best decision, but I get a good spawn. So I'm just going to be able to stun the flag and slow it down. Actually, I don't mean stun it. But the spawn I got green made it really easy for me to stop that flag. And I get 2 kills, and then this is a counter situation. Like, where we have 3 down and we can really push it aggressive. But since we don't have anyone on flank yet, that's going to be really hard to do. So this is the type of situation where you spawn backstage. You don't really need to back up your flag. We just killed 3 guys. They're all on spawn, and there's no way they're going to be at our flag yet. Actually, one spawn mini, so he could have pushed our flag, but I spotted him, and he went back up, and then obviously going to get the easy kill on him. So I was just trying to like slow him down from another player spawn mini. That's kind of weird. But at this point, we're 3 dead, so whoever this has got to make a really clutch play. He gets a really good stun, and he gets a good clutch kill, and pretty sure he's gonna get 2 actually. I don't know, but it's really important. It's like staying alive at your base. It's so simple to do. Like people don't do this enough. They just don't defend their flag. You don't have to run out and just fucking try and get flag caps all the time, especially when you have a lead. We're up 2-0 on that side. It's like for us to just simply run out and be retardedly aggressive is useless right now. Like right there, that one push I made, I saw I had a chance to get a kill, so I decided to take it. But like, if I would have just blindly ran out and just died, I mean, it's not really useful. And obviously right now we're playing on Mutation Toast, so there's 3 West Coast players on their team, so it's really hard to win gunfights whenever they're playing West Coast, by the way. And it was the same thing for them on our host, so can't really like say anything about it. But we're gonna go up onto the second side. Pretty sure we're gonna be up 2-0, which is the good side. So, and like I said earlier, the only reason why it's a good side is because it's easier to get a flag out, and it's much easier to get cut off on that side. So that last play right there, I was just doing all I can to get the stun on my flag, and obviously trying to slow down to make sure I didn't get a flag cap, even if it had like 10 seconds left in the round. Alright, so let's go over some few more questions. I'm going to do this between every round and map, just so anyone. Alright, default is tactical. That's one of your personal. It's a personal thing. Same thing for sensitivity. If you guys ask me that, I'm going to keep saying play whatever you're comfortable with. As far as sensitivity, I think it's more useful to have a lower sensitivity. Anything over 5 is kind of like useless to where you don't really need to move that fast. Let's see. If 4 alive in your team is 4 alive, just spawn. How do you know where to push and what to what? Well, I mean, there's always always different routes you got to take. If it like the question was, if there's 4 alive on your team and there's 4 alive on your team, where do you know where to push? It's not about where do you know where to push. It's what you know you need to control. So you always have to play it accordingly to what you want to play, what you want to control on the map. So like on this side of the map, it was controlling green. Obviously, to start off with, if you control green, it's really hard to get a flag out since you're not spawning backstairs. And then you want to control the middle and the top middle, and then eventually work your way to flank and bar. So those are it's not according to how many people are alive on your team. The only relevance to how many people are alive on the other team is if usually you know where people are whenever you kill them or whenever you see people. It's like simple. It's more easier to get control when you kill players because you have more space on the map to move around. But if there's 4 players live, it's like it doesn't change anything. You still want to control those same areas. Obviously, you can like be a bit more patient if you don't want to give up stupid flags and plays that you don't want to put yourself in a bad position. Do I use a scuff controller? I've actually never tried one. I'm actually trying to get one of my own. So I don't play claw either, so it could be really useful to me. I play on 3 sensitivity, by the way. If you're wondering, it really doesn't really matter. Where are the main spots people have to go to? That's the thing you have to work out with your team, and like in general, like if you watch people play, you can usually defer like what they're doing. Like when you first start playing a game, there's so much, like it's a brand new game, so like everything you do is kind of like stupid since you don't really know what's right yet. So just play with your team. Like the more you play, the more you'll acknowledge plays that work more often than not. It's really to do what works for you. Like every team has a way of playing it. The way we choose to play it is the more logical way, the way we'll be more consistent at to keep flags going and play smart. Yeah, Europeans seem to play on like a lot higher sensitivity, and I mean, sure, if that's what they're used to, go ahead. That's up to them, man. Like, I have nothing against it. Like, I just feel like, in my opinion, anything over 5 is kind of useless. Like, why would you want to move around so fast? It's like it doesn't make your shot much better. Like the half second that you get, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. And if anything, it like with the slower sensitivity, it allows you to be more precise. So it can ensure that you don't miss any shots. So off break, we move pretty much everywhere on the map. We try to control top as much as we can. A lot of teams, what they do is try and push middle a lot, which kind of works as well, but the way we play it is we like to control top off the start, which gives us, if you control top, you can run through middle easier, so. So we get 3 dead, and the last player's in the back of their base. I'm going to go for a pull since my teammates got my team pretty much has every cutoff right now. I call out one guy that's mini right now, and hopefully my teammate kills him. And I'm pretty much, this is one of the situations I was talking about earlier, to where you can't just run with the flag. That was, my chance of getting across with that were like so slim to none. It was so stupid. It was like useless. Even if I were to like stay alive and try and go for kills, like my chances of getting that flag cap were like really slim to none anyways. But just the fact that I just try and ran it across when my teammate just died from the same spot I was running into was just like, I mean, it was kind of like a mindless play, kind of like not that smart. So that's one of the things I'm still working on, and that's like, it's one of the plays where like it's a clutch play you can make. Obviously, like you're more tend to run the flag. Like if you get it across, then obviously it was a clutch play because if you get it across, you're pretty much assured to cap. But in that situation, my chance of getting it across were really like not high. So here my teammate just died green, so I'm gonna run across and pre-fire and get a kill. That was a really clutch 2-piece. Right there, I just made sure green, no one was chashing me, and Big Time was able to get a kill, and it's pretty much a sure cap. See, these are one of the plays that, as an SMG player, if you make, those are like clutch plays. Like, and that's the usage of the minimap again. Like, if you can use your minimap to your advantage, that's how you do it right. So I get a stun on flag, get a naked kill, and if you look on the minimap, my teammate's green, he's gonna die to him. So, and right now we killed the guy right before that. So the chance of having another, like the other, actually let's go check. Let's find out where was the other team at. So actually TP and Sean, the only 2 alive. So there's 2 dead, and I know where the last 2 players are. My chances of making a good play here are really high because I can just jump around and pre-fire his ass. Because I'm playing. Am I playing with extended mags here? I don't think so. I think it was, or I might be. I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of bullets there. I probably am. So, because you're playing against a North American, please. So I get a kill, pre-fire corner, get a 2-piece, easy flag pull. My teammate gets a clutch third kill because he was mid-map. That player had no reason to be mid-map. He should have been at his flag because his team wasn't not in a good position to save their flag, and that gave us an easy flag cap. You see, that's the thing about Call of Duty that I dislike in a way. Is like most of the flag caps you're gonna get are mistakes from the other team. Like whenever you see a really high scoring game, it's not because the team's playing really well, it's because the team's playing really bad. And I think obviously that's kind of like normal in every game. It's kind of be the same thing. But that's why like a lot of people like seeing high scoring games, but I personally like seeing a low scoring game that people can like see good plays happen, and it's like every flag cap matters to where because it's it's so hard to get. So we're up 3-0 at this point. Big Time gets a nice 2. Just shoot the ground, gets killed. And once again, this comes back to the situation that LVG was in earlier. They all spawned up top. They didn't have a flag, but we decided to run like we spawn up top and we back up to our flag. There's no use of us just pushing out top mid and just giving up control of our base. Like, it makes no sense. Even if you die, you slow them down and give your team a chance to spawn. And by not losing control of the map, then you give yourself more and more time to gain control of your side and control things. So at this point we get 2 dead, and now the flag caps pretty much they can't really get a flag pull. Alright, let's finish this map. I'm pretty tired today, guys. I didn't get much sleep yesterday, so obviously I'm going to be doing a lot more of these live shows. I'll be doing as long as I can. I'm probably going to like do maybe one more map after this and then call it a day. But just in general, I'm going to do these like as much as I can, like to help you guys out. If you guys have any comments or messages, just tweet at me, and things that you would like to see more, like maybe like someone said earlier, go over my gameplay or something like that. I can do I can just do different shows and these type of sessions with you guys, and just have like more in-depth play or style with certain players. The reason I'm not doing other players' gameplay right now is because it's kind of unfair to just do someone's gameplay when I do get these ideas and these messages a lot from people. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go with for arcade now. We're going to get another flag cap before this game ends, but at this point I'm just going to end the map because we're just going over the same stuff over and over again. So we're going to go over the last map, which is Search and Destroy on Underground. And this is a really quick 4-0. But I'm going to show you guys the importance of setting up and using the bomb site to your advantage. And how to mix it up. Alright, so as you can see I got a pretty dull kill line here.
Search and destroy.
Alright, so the first thing that you want to do on this map is rush A. Pretty simple as that. There's alternatives to it, but the main thing you want to do is push A, and you want to be safe about it. As you saw right there, I just saw someone's arm drop. He was like, must have chucked something, and I just got an easy kill. And the thing you want to do when you play against a team on this map on offense when you're pushing A is get control of A site, which we do really well and really fast, and we get 3 kills and get pretty much the easiest push into A that you've ever seen in your life. And I don't even have time to plan it, and we get it down. So, like, the thing that you don't want to do is what they did. I'm going to show you guys on defense how we play it. And it's really simple to where you don't want to be aggressive at it. You want to be smart about it. Like, you want to be aggressive when you want to make them put themselves in positions where you can be aggressive in. When we're sitting on our side of the hill inside A, like, here, I'll show you guys. Like, I'll show you guys the line where you want to, like. So this is the line right here, okay? This is what I call the Rambo line. right here, this little staircase, if you push past that, that's when that's when the other team has to be aggressive. But until you're on this side, like there's no reason. Why would you run into that? Like they have perfect angles on everything. Like there's no use of being overly aggressive when they're on this side, because I mean, what are the chances of you catching someone off guard when they're just like that's where they're going? So it's useless. So I'll show you guys how we play it. We pretty much stay middle. That's what we do. Like I'll just show you guys from a like aerial standpoint. I go B to make sure no one rushes it, and then I'll switch it up. Sometimes I'll go middle, sometimes I'll go top. So as you can see right now, this is like a really basic setup. This is what every team should be doing, like in a really basic setup. And you can see Merc's on the middle, kind of like watching over middle. And what I do usually is I'll work with Merc. So if Merc sees anything middle, and a lot of people don't really push B, so I'll usually push around the B and push the middle and try and help him off, get a kill. And then Merc and Big Timer, or Scumpy and Big can like work together at A. And one thing you'll realize a lot is we work together. Like that's why we're so good at search. We work together. We don't just be like, oh well, okay, well they're going A, so I'm just gonna sit here at B in case they come back. We don't do that. I see nothing happening at B. I'm going to try and make something happen middle, or I'm going to go back to A. My teammates may be calling out. Yeah, my teammates are like, okay, there's people at A. So I went from all the way B to all the way A. And I'm going to chuck an A and try to get a kill because I just saw a guy on bomb side. But there was no one on bomb side, so I didn't get the kill. And then I go to middle to try and cut off. So as you can see, we have no one inside A. We have no one inside A. We all sit outside of A. There's no use of being inside A until like you know you're safe to be in there. So my teammates called middle. There's still a guy on bomb site, so I'm just roaming around middle to try and get an angle on things. I thought I was picking up an ECR there, but I wasn't. One of my teammates, this is the type of play that you kind of like, that I shouldn't have done, but that was like West Coast host all over. That was fucking bullshit. Yes, I am mad, by the way. But that's just like, we were playing on West Coast. That was Lanny would have died. Like, I had what? That was fucking stupid. Like, I started shooting way before down on my screen as well, so. But regardless, that's not a play I should have done. Since that was like, I didn't know Scumpy was rushing from his side, but he was, so we kind of like, we went from a 3-on-2 situation to a 1-on-2. Which is never a thing you want to do. And then we put Merc in a 1v2 situation, but Merc's really good, and Merc is going to clutch it. And here, this is the type of play that everyone, I think this is like the big difference between a pro player and an amateur player. The pro player is going to stay steady and calm and collective. You're never going to freak out or put yourself like, just go off track. This happened on C-Town too. I should have showed you guys. But it happens. It happens to everyone to miss shots. Everyone's going to miss shots sometimes. But if you don't freak out and don't be overly aggressive, like you'll always come out on top. Like you see, he took his time. He doesn't have sleight of hand, and he reloaded his gun. But look at, I don't know who he was playing against here. It was TP. But look, TP just freaked out and like just try and like rush him. Like here, just switch his pistol, try and jump out, try and make a play that's not going to happen. Like you have to take your time. Like I'm sure, I want to see. I can't really. It's fucking stupid. I can't even see how many bullets TP had. But I'm pretty sure his clip was like pretty full. I don't really think he shot much. Like here, moves like we'll see. I'm pretty sure he's probably fully reloaded right now. He didn't shoot that much. Like he barely shot enough to like waste a full clip. And you see, Merc just took his time, took his time, reloaded his gun. TP rushed him. TP like that. Like those are the type of plays as a pro player that you have to make yourself. That's what makes people good S&D players when they play calm and collective.
Good job. Get ready for the next round.
And that's one thing that everyone should work on. Like, if you can stay calm and collective, you'll come on top 90% of the time in a 1v1. Especially when these type of situations happen.
Switching sides. Search and destroy.
We don't have set strategies in Search and Destroy. To answer your question, Abusive. Like, we play reactive to what the other team is doing. It's not that hard. If they're at A, you go A. If they're at B, you go B. if your teammate's in a certain situation, you try to put yourself in a position where you can help them. Obviously, there's a certain knowledge part where like there's certain situations where you want to help your teammate out, and sometimes you just can't. But it just has to be smart, and that's what I'm saying. Choke, but there's no such thing as a choke in that situation. It's a one-on-one, and they're both missing shots. Merc choked too. Merc missed shots. It's as simple as that. But Merc was a more calm and collective player, and he laid down, reloaded his gun, and then killed them.
Destroy the objective.
So once again, we're going to be on offense. I think this time it's going to be a really slow round to where they're not going to be overly aggressive like they were last round. And they actually get the first kill, so we decided to go around the B. That's one thing that I'll usually call a lot of plays to where usually what happens on this map is if you don't get control of middle, then your chance of getting into A are really slim to none, because like if you look at our defensive setup, that's how you make strats on this game. That's how you make plays. You play a standard defense and then you react against it. So what we did, you want to play against what we did. So they have a guy on bridge, a few guys are on A, and a guy at B. So mainly what we do is we play really slow and smart for it. So Big Timer gets a kill. So right now it's a 3-on-3. Mutation, TP, and Ace, I believe. Or actually it's a 3-on-2. I'm so tired right now. I can't keep track of things. But regardless, so I go for, we're on 3-on-2 right now. I'm in at B. So it's pretty rare that people like, and here I shot because I saw a body and I really thought it was a guy laying down, but it wasn't. And here I just get like randomly naded, and then Big Timer picks off TP, and now it's a 2-on-1, and now it's a 1-on-1. So Big Timer knows where the last player is. Big Timer is going to play really slow. Right here we can third person him. We can play accordion in third person, obviously. Have I had successful teams? Yes. This is like the first time that I've ever had a team that we haven't really had set strats for S&D. We kind of like called shots on the go. Like, but just look at every game in general. Strategies are a set, like a set mindset, like an obvious, or what am I going to say, an ideal situation that you want to put yourself in. So a strategy is never going to work according to plan like 90% of the time. Like if you look at the first round of this map on offense, we pushed in from A and we got all the kills we had to get, and that strategy worked perfectly. Like that play was perfect. Like that was one of the times where our breakoff strategy worked perfectly, but it's so rare that that's going to happen. Like it's just never going to happen perfectly. Like there's maybe 1 out of like 20 rounds where that's going to happen. So those 19 other rounds, you have to be able to react to what's happening. And I think that's what makes that's what smart playing is. And that's why you can't have set strategies. If you stick to a strat that's already not working, then you're just kind of like digging yourself a hole that you won't be able to get out of. So this is why, like, and here we were just threatening Big Timer. Obviously he sees the guy and he gets the first shot and gets the clutch. And that was a 1-on-1, and Big Timer wins it. And once again, we're now going on defense. Or was that? Yeah, we're on defense. What is the best attachment on PP90? I either do extended mags or nothing. If I play on you in the deserter rule.
Defend the objective.
So this is a situation where I said I usually play different routes. So since my teammates, I'm pretty sure one of my teammates poked into A and saw there's a lot of guys there, so I kind of know they're not pushing B. And here, this is another situation you have to play reactive. I just heard a stun. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear the sound really good, but like you can see, like someone just threw a stun on the back stairs. I'll just show you guys just to make sure that someone just stunned the back stairs. So that's where I was going. So if someone's stunning back stairs and someone's watching it, so I'm not just gonna like play it really random and go there and like see it. So I look on my minimap, the guy's just shooting right here in the corner. He's definitely not going to expect me pushing this. and I just pick him off since he was shooting my guy on the bridge, which I call off to stay alive. So right now we get a first pick and a first kill, which is really big on this map, and now we force him to play in a deficit, and now we get killed. Now it's a 3-on-2. I'm gonna back up and help my teammates at A since my teammates called out that they're pushing A. Useless for me to be a B. It's like I'm giving. If I would stay at B, it's kind of like a 2-on-2. But if I stay in a position where I can help him out, then it's kind of like a 3-on-2. So that's always keeping numbers in mind. It's always what you want to do. So here one of my teammates called out that he was a detractor or something. So I just try and decide to nade and blow up the Jeep in case there's someone sitting behind it. My teammate runs in and picks him off. And now we're in a 3-on-1 situation, and we get the win. And that's it. That's as simple as that. What proficiency do I use on my PP90? I use Focus. I use Focus on pretty much all of my SMGs now. Except for MP7, sometimes I use range. But yeah, it's simple as that. It's like, just playing as a team, it's like, I'm never going to like say that enough. Like, obviously, playing as a team is a really like general statement, but it's just something that you have to learn how to do. You have to be able to work with your teammates. It's Call of Duty is a game that's it's really individual dependent. But if you play the way individually to where you're helping your teammates out, then you can have a lot easier time winning games. And rapid fire is banned for any sort of competitive play. So. Yeah, I pretty much use Focus here. I'll show you guys my class if you want to end the show. But yeah, so that's Focus, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if that's Focus. I'm pretty sure that's Focus. So I use Focus, PP90, MP7 range, ACR Focus, and MP7 Focus. Those are my classes. And obviously, on all my SMGs, I never like red dots on my SMGs that much. I prefer my guns with iron sight. It's a personal preference. Anyone can like their stuff with red dots or anything in general. Like a lot of people, like I've even seen European players play with like ACRs that with no red dot, which is kind of like crazy because the red dot on ACR is like the best thing ever. But I mean, sure, that's how I feel about SMG. Someone could be like, a red dot on a PP90 is the best thing ever, but I just don't feel the same way. So. Those are things. So that's pretty much extended mags, and rapid fire is banned for every sort of competitive play. You're never going to see rapid fire not banned, and extended mags is banned. That's the only difference between North American and European competitive play right now is for the rules. As far as the rules, is the extended mags for any gun. So yeah. I pretty much like you said, range hardly works for MP7, but sometimes it's like I only pulled it out on lockdown sometimes for long range situations. But even then, without extended mags, it's kind of useless. So I usually do Focus pretty much. So yeah, that was pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully, I'll be doing more of these shows and coming out with more videos soon. I haven't been feeling the greatest in the past few days, which is why I haven't really came out with any videos or much anything, which I'm sorry for. But I'll be coming back with more videos this week. And hopefully more scrims and show matches for you guys interested. I pretty much tweet out all the time, so if you're not following me on Twitter already, I would appreciate it if you follow me on Twitter for any sort of information. Most of your questions can be asked around there. If you have any sort of question anywhere, just ask me on Twitter. I have no problem answering questions if you tweet at me. That's always something I do to all my followers. That's not a problem. My Twitter is @apex_Rambo, and pretty much. So I hope you guys have a good day, good weekend. Until next time, it's Rambo. You get to see my super outro. Have a good day, guys.